If someone told you to think about who you are, how would you respond? Would you think I'm a student at Juniata studying this or that POE? Would you think I'm part of a certain sports team or club on campus? Would you think I'm white or black, Christian or Muslim, Democrat or Republican? What would be the roles or the ideas you'd identify? We are here to answer how we can use the values of our liberal arts education to heal the deeply entrenched divides we currently find in our nation and world. Where to begin? Well, you may have thought I just proposed a hypothetical situation where someone told you to think about who you are. But actually, Juniata just adopted this as their new slogan. Although think about who you are may roll off the tongue nicely, it's often interpreted in a misguided way. Too bad it's so conveniently placed throughout our campus. It's misguided because our current way of responding to think about who you are guides us to thinking about what makes us different. We highlight things like our job titles, belief systems, and special abilities, all things to show that we're not the same. I argue this. When we focus on our differences to answer, think about who you are, we divide the world. We must find a better way to think about who we are. A true liberal arts education encourages us to engage in personal exploration and not just seek academic success. If we want to practice meaningful civic engagement, we must replace the current identity process, which fosters an illusion of difference, with a better one, which fosters a reality of interconnected similarity. If someone walked up to me on my first day at Juniata and told me to think about who you are, I would have almost certainly have thought cross-country runner. I came to Juniata for a few reasons, but one of the main ones was to be a runner. In high school, I was pretty good at it. I won some awards, stuff humans recognize other humans with. I wanted to be really good at Juniata. I wanted to go to nationals someday. I even made a little video of myself saying that and saved it on my computer. It might have been silly, but it was a real dream. However, after the end of my freshman year, I got injured pretty badly. My hip was full of tendinitis, and there's a muscle in my back that just can't seem to handle running for more than a mile at a time. Just to give some context, if Coach gave us a 6-mile run, that would be considered an easy day. I was devastated. I knew my running days were over. For a year or so, this major identity loss made me feel confused, upset, angry at why this would happen to me. Losing running was losing myself. However, and I couldn't be more happy or blessed for where I am right now. Although losing who I thought I was hurt, it could never compare to the joy I felt when I realized who I truly am. As Misha, a famous American dancer, once said, the more injuries you get, the smarter you get. The loss of running, although painful in the moment, forced me to foster a new reality. A new reality I plan to share with you all in the next few minutes. Tying your identity to a role you play or to an ideology you hold will always give the illusion of difference between people. See, being a runner was an identity I held on to as tightly as a 2-ton metal vise, terrified of anyone who would attempt to loosen the grip. Back when I was stuck in the grip of the vise, I had a difficult time seeing people who didn't run or who didn't understand why I ran as similar to me. See, every day I would wake up knowing that an 8, 9, sometimes even 10-mile run was on my daily menu. Although I admit this behavior was slightly insane, it would make me very defensive and irritated when anyone tried to question why I did it. Their questioning would force me to become defensive and irritated because it would feel like they were questioning me, my whole being, and not just some behavior I engaged in. Now just imagine, just picture this. If I became so defensive and irritated simply because of someone who didn't understand why I ran, think about why our society has become so reactive, so defensive when ideologies derived from race, politics, and religion are brought into the mix. When we tie ideologies to our identities, we become polarized. Barack Obama explained this perfectly when he said, "There's not a liberal America and a conservative America. There's just the United States of America." So in order to heal the divides in our nation and world, we must find a better way to think about who we are. As I mentioned earlier, even though losing the ability to run left me feeling confused, upset, angry, there was a positive side to this identity loss. See, losing running forced me, whether I enjoyed it at the time or not, to thoughtfully reconsider who I thought I was. This thoughtful process led me to reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, a guide to spiritual enlightenment. Eckhart Tolle's ideas are not new. He extracts fundamental Christian and Buddhist values which have been in existence for over 2,000 years and uses them as the foundations for his teachings. Teachings that attempt to transcend people from the illusion of difference to the reality of interconnected similarity. Tolle's central teaching that helped me foster a new reality is this: defining yourself through thought is limiting yourself. In other words, when we think about who we are, we tend to use our thoughts to locate the roles we play in the ideologies we hold. These thoughts create identities, but those identities do not encapsulate the true essence of who we are. They are limiting. They are merely the tip of the iceberg. Being a student at Juniata, or a professor or custodian or an alum, or being a runner or a dancer or a baseball player are roles we play. And being a Democrat or a Republican, a Christian or a Muslim, or whatever your understanding of race and gender may be, are ideologies we hold, and they shouldn't define us. None of these thoughts are you. We are more the same than we are different. On the deepest level of humanity, deep underneath the tip of the iceberg, we, all humans, are interconnected and loving beings. Tolle argues, if the structures of the human mind remain unchanged, we will always end up recreating the same world, the same evils, the same dysfunction. The current way we think about who we are is dysfunctional because it fosters the illusion of difference. We cannot possibly heal the divides in our nation and world if we fundamentally perpetuate this illusion. The better way to think about who we are is to think about who we are and think again. Because no matter what your initial thoughts may say you are, they will always just be the tip of the iceberg. I was never just a runner. I just thought I was. At the deepest level, I'm the same as you. We are loving, interconnected humans who derive our sense of purpose not from being different, but from being the same. Tonight, I invite you all to transcend the illusion of difference and to seek a new reality of interconnected similarity. In the Bible, Mark 12:31 pleads, "Love your neighbor as you love yourself. There is no commandment greater than this."